Hello, YouTube. This is Jay Coder back with another stream, and today I'm going to be continuing the code that I did in the last video with generating the image using DALLE-3 API. And without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Subscribe to the channel, comment on this video, like this video, and alright, I'm gonna continue on here. And so what we had was we made our data item, our image generation request. Our data item is what we're going to get in the response, the image URL, and then we're going to get a list of data items from the response, and then I went ahead and made the retrofit instance. So it's going to be using our base URL, which is api.openai.com, and please make sure you use your own API key in order for it to work. And then I implemented our API service, and then the next thing that I need is, so we have the retrofit instance and we have the API service. All right, so now let us make the view model. The view model is a very important part in Android. It makes sure your data is preserved despite transitioning between screens, and whatever happens to your UI, you'll still have the data being preserved in the background. And the view model is the middleman between getting the data from the API and displaying the data onto the screen. So, alright, so let's go ahead and do this. So I'm going to right click on view model. You might not be able to see my sub menu here, but when you right click on view model, you'll get a pop-up menu, and then you would go to new, and then we're going to go to Kotlin class, and then I'm gonna name mine AIIG view model, because that's kind of my custom prefix. But you can name it whatever you want. Just this is going to be your view model. So I'm going ahead and typing that in, and so I have the AIIG view model. And then so with the AIIG view model, let me just make sure that everyone can see. Okay, looks good. Okay, and then with the AIIG view model, it's going to inherit from view model. And so within inheriting from view model, let's implement what's going to be inside. So we need our list of images. So our list of images is going to be from the response, but in this case it'll be one image, but we just since it's going to be returned as a list, we have to make sure that we match that format. So actually this one's going to be our this is going to be our live data, basically, where you make like a private and a public accessible version of the live data. Okay, so this is going to be mutable live data, and this is going to be response data, and then it's going to be, and then after that we make our public version of the live data. Yeah, and the to they like to do this in Kotlin. It's a very cottonly kind of thing, and um, sometimes you just have to trust the process that whatever engineering syntax that they're doing, that it is something that helps in the long run. But anyway, um, right now I'm gonna make. Well, actually, if you want to log different things, you can type tag or I'm sorry, not tag, log t, and then choose log t, and it will automatically create a variable for you, so that you can be able to log, what's happening. And then, okay, so we created our live data, we created a log, and now within our live data, we're going to create a fetch images method. So within here, it's going to be fetch images, and this is going to be a model string, and so that model is going to be the LLM model that we're going to be talking to, which later you'll see will be DALLE-3. DALLE-3 is the most up-to-date, most powerful AI image generation model from OpenAI, and we're going to be using that. And then the prompt, and so that's going to be like, create a race car that flies, or create a dense, scary looking forest with a huge bear growling. Whatever image we want is the prompt. And then we have an integer here and a size here, which is we can specify the size of the image. It also supports HD images. And then, okay, so we will create a view model scope. And this is basically, launching another thread so that we can be free to make our API call while the user interface is still running, and that there's no choppiness while we are loading. So that's good for multi-threaded programming here. And so within this, we're going to make a try catch. And the first one within our try is going to be request. And then it's going to be our image generation request. And then for our image generation request, we are going to pass in the variables we need, which it will be the model, the prompt, the integer, and the size. And then after that, we need a variable that we are going to call the response. And then this response is going to be our retrofit instance. Dot our retrofit instance dot is going to be dot our AIG API. Let me see here. So API service. Did I create our I created our AIGG API there. And then inside our view model is going to be dot that, and then it's going to be our service dot AIG underscore, and then it's going to be our, let me go ahead and just make sure I have it correct. So it's going to be this one. So we're using dot notation to drill down to this, and then drill down to this. And so let me just see something. One thing that let's see, one moment. One thing that is actually missing here is this variable should be an object, which I didn't have it as anything right there. I just had it a name and a scope. But what this is an object. So if you've been following along, go back to your AIIG retrofit instance and make sure that your API here is object, so that we'll probably get errors regarding that in the future, since that's what we had in our last video. Okay, and then now we can go back to our view model, and then inside our view model we're drilling down to the different ones. So we drill down to the retrofit service, and then once we drill down to there, we need to okay. Alright, so we need to call the generate image function. So we're drilling down to the dot generate image method, and what we're passing in to there is the request. Alright, and then after that we are going to go ahead and make sure so we made our API request, and now we're checking if we're making an if statement to see if it was successful. So within our statement here, we're going to say if response data is not equal to null, then this would be the images dot value equals response data. And then after that, so we're setting our our live data to our response data if the data returned is not null, but also actually we need an outer if statement that is saying this one's saying basically if response dot is successful, then if response data is not equal to null, then set our live data to our response data. And then basically we can also log this just to make sure we're getting it back correctly. And then if you want to do a log, you can type in log log I and then enter, and then it's an information log that populates there. And then first of all, we can have another log up here too, saying that it was successful, and then if it was successful, then we want to see what the response body is. The response body is, and then we can use that $, and then response dot body to display what our response is. And then after that, what we need to do is let's see it. If since the response data is not null, we will display. Well, we're not displaying, but we're logging. We're gonna log the image value to the log to see if everything is all right. So the image value is, and then we need the $sign again to display the variable, and then we're displaying the images dot value. So after we set our live data, we're checking to see if our live data has received the image value. And so it will log that. And then if it's not successful, then if the response is not successful, then we're going to have a catch statement. So it's actually going to be after the try, and then we're going to have a catch statement here. And that's going to be our exception. And then if this happens, we're going to log an error. In order to log an error, you can type in log E, or log E, and then enter, which will be your error log. And then we can say error. Then we need the $sign, then the brackets to display our variable. And inside this variable is going to be an error message. So we take the error and display the message there. Okay, and so that implements our view model. Now we need to take care of some things in the main activity in order to get this going. So what we need to do is we need to go to our main activity, and then inside our main activity we need to declare some variables within our onCreate function. So of course onCreate is a built-in activity function that, so after it's done with creating the stuff, super.onCreate, the next thing we do is we're going to add our variables that we need. And then, so first of all, we need to declare our view model that we just got done implementing as a variable here. So I'm going to say, I'm just going to call it, you can name it whatever, but I'm going to call it image view model. And then inside, this is going to be set equal to the view model provider and then inside the view model provider we're going to pass in this main activity, and then we're going to get and then what we're going to get is the AIIG view model class. So yeah, it's just kind of how this syntax goes. Sometimes you just have to trust the process. And this one is okay. So we have it there, our image view model. And then after that, what we need is our different variables that we're going to pass into our request. So basically we have the model, and these have to be spelled like this basically, or else it will not work, because this is straight from the OpenAI documentation. In order to use the DALLE-3 model, you will need to enter the model name like how I typed it there. And so we're using the latest and greatest one, which is DALLE-3. So that's why I type it there. And then we need a prompt. So what do we want as a prompt now for this? Beautiful. What about beautiful mountains with a yellow sky? So that's going to be our prompt. And you're going to typically, we don't have this in this video for now, but you're going to make the user type in you're going to allow the user to type in the prompt, and then you'll be able to get the image after that. But right now, I'm going to hard code the prompt within our code. So this integer is 1. In the documentation, I don't exactly remember what that is used for, but we need to trust the process here that needs to be 1. And then this is going to be our size. And so in order, this is pretty much the default size, and it has to be entered in like that. HD is also supported. So HD, you'll need to put in would be, a different input. But for now, our images will be 1024 by 1024. And then, okay. And now, inside the set content, this is where our composables are going to be called. And so we need some variables inside our set content to get things ready. So we're going to have a variable called images and in. So this is going to be, actually this is going to be by image. So this is going to be our observer, basically. That's going to be observing for changes. In our view model. This is observe as state. And then after that, we need to pretty much launch our fetch images method, and in order to do that in effectively in multi-threaded programming, we need to do this thing called launch effect, and then key 1 equals true, which another trusted process thing, why we need that. And then within here we need the image view model dot fetch images, and then here we will need to pass in our model, our prompts, our integer, and our size. And then after that, we will call our method inside the set content, which, or is, well, inside this is our pretty much our theme and surface, and then inside here we'll make our call images dot let, and then this is gonna be image list, and we're gonna throw in it, and so that will call our image list composable. And so we need to implement our image list composable. So it really doesn't require that much code to implement our image list composable, but when we're just going to have our composable within the same file as our main, but we just have to make sure that the composable is outside our main, like this greeting is. So, all right, we're gonna make our own composable here, and this is gonna be we always need this annotation to make our own composable, and then we're going to make something called actually we're going to split it up into two composables here. And so this one's going to be image list, and that's going to take in our images and response data. Well, the image response data. And then within our composable, we're going to have a lazy column. So this one's going to be a lazy column. And then inside our lazy column is going to have items. And then the passed in items is going to be images.data. And then within our items, we're going to have a text label that is basically going to show our actual URL to the screen. For now, just for the purposes of this app. So within our text, we pass in variables, which is going to be our text, and then our modifier. And then inside our modifier, we're going to give it a padding of 16 dp. So I'm going to have this, well, I'm going to have modifier dot padding, and then a padding of 16 dp. Okay, and then the next one, we're going to have the font weight, which the font weight is going to be font weight, and then it's going to be in bold, or actually we don't need these. And this needs to be capital. So we have our text label that displays the actual text. Now we need to display the actual image itself, which I'm going to name this image card, and it's going to be displayed within a card. And then inside this card, it's going to take in the photo, which is equal to the data item and the modifier, which is equal to the, well, this is going to be equal to pretty much our styling that we're doing here. So this is going to be fill max width and with a padding of 16. Oops. Okay, so we have the padding there, and we pass that. And now let us implement our image card that we just used right there. And so this guy is going to be image card. And then what we're going to pass in there is the photo, which is data, a data item class, and then our modifier. Let's see. And then the modifier is going to be equal to modifier yep, just modifier, and this modifier is actually capital. And then after that, we will implement the card. So the first one here is going to actually be the card modifier shape equals, and then that's just going to be the material theme dot shapes dot medium, and then the elevation is gonna be card defaults, so card defaults dot card elevation, and this one's going to be default elevation of 8 dp. Default elevation and that's going to equal 8 dp. And then after this, we are going to use the coil Did I add my coil dependencies yet? Or my... Let's go to our Gradle. And then inside our Gradle, we're going to need to add some implementation here. So what we need to add is implementation for our coil, because we're going to be using coil methods to help us display our image. And in order to do that, we need to include our coil implementation. So our coil implementation will be this. So we got to make sure we have this. Oh yeah, so I did put it up there already. So yeah, you have to make sure you include that in your implementation in order to use this next thing that we're going to use in our main, which is the async image. So inside our main, we're going to have our async image. And then inside our async image, we're going to have our model equals image request dot builder. And this is pretty much code that we need to successfully display the image to the screen. So in this one, it'll be context equal local context, and this is going to be dot current, and then this is going to be our dot data, and then inside our data will be the URL okay, and then after that we need a dot notation. So this will be a dot notation here to add another setting, which will be crossfade, and then it's going to be true, and then it's going to be a dot build. Just so that's like for a fade effect, and then we're going to add some other things that we don't really need right now, which is the error, what the image will display when there's an error, what the placeholder will be while the image is loading, which we'll not use right now, and then the content description, which will be which we don't really need like anything in the content description right now. It's like a DALLE-3 image, and that's for accessibility purposes, basically. And then we'll have a modifier, and then inside the modifier we'll have modifier dot fill max width, and then that is our async image. And so after implementing that, that should be good now. And so, all right, and now it's going to be debug time to make sure everything is correct. So let me go ahead and run it here, and let's see if we get any errors so far. But if you made it to this point, it should be just about finished. So, yep, just building this right now. But, this should be a good foundation code for any app that you would like to build related to using DALLE-3 images. And so, and again, DALLE-3 is is basically the latest and greatest AI generated technology, AI image generation technology from OpenAI. And so with this, you can basically be able to leverage their latest and greatest image technology within your own app. So yeah, hopefully this tutorial is valuable to you in that way. And so yeah, right now we're building still and just seeing what errors we'll get that we'll need to repair. But basically we have the code that we need in order for it to do what I wanted it to do. So yeah, so the Gradle build is still running here. Okay, so still waiting for it to build. So scanning files to index. Okay. It said the build failed. And let's see why the build failed. Unexpected token use with the semicolon. Let's see. So I'm having something here with the line 25. So I gotta see what exactly is going on here. Oh, I missed the equal sign. That's important. Hopefully it builds much faster this time. And so, okay, there's something else going on here with the expecting a top level declaration. Okay. So, expecting a top level declaration. Let's see. So we have the main. Then after the main, we have the composable. And is composable spelled correctly? And then, oh, okay. I forgot the fun in the function. So, yeah, just a little syntax error there. Yeah, that's the thing about programming. You have to have it perfect where you need to have like the correct syntax. The little functions and the equal signs and things like that. Okay. And so unresolved reference view model provider. And let's see if it will give me an import option here. If it doesn't give me an import option, let me see if I can find that import just really quick here. And so inside this import option, let's check if we have the lifecycle import for the view model provider that we need. Android X dot lifecycle dot view model provider, which we don't seem to already have. All right, and now let's try. Mismatch. Infer type is AIG model, but view model. And so image view model. Let me see here. So we have oh, okay. We've actually been streaming for over an hour here, and so I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream for now, and I'm gonna go ahead and do a part 3 of this to finish it up. But if you like this content, please subscribe to the channel. And so I'm gonna go ahead and make a part 3 to finish this up, and that's gonna be on a later date. But thank you guys for watching, and as always, stay coding. Peace.